Ever wondered what truly happens when you completely vanish from someone's life? Not just pulling back a little, but truly gone. No calls, no texts, no trace. What do they actually feel when you disappear? In a world where people so easily take others for granted, sometimes the most powerful move isn't confrontation, it's silence. Today, we're flipping the script, because when you walk away without warning, their world will start to crumble. Welcome to one of the most eye-opening videos you'll ever watch. If you've ever been in a relationship or situation where someone made you feel like an option, this message is for you. We're diving deep into a powerful truth, what they really go through when you vanish from their life. We'll break down 9 intense emotional stages they experience once you're gone. And by the end, you'll understand why walking away and never looking back can be one of the strongest decisions you'll ever make. If you're ready to reclaim your worth, if you're done being the one who always gives, always waits, always tries, drop a comment saying, "I'm done being an option." Because by the time you finish this video, you'll mean it. Stay till the end. There's a bonus 10th stage that hits harder than all the rest, and you'll want to hear it. Let's begin. 1. The sting of rejection. This is where it all starts. They never saw it coming. In their mind, you were permanent, the one who cared, planned, and always showed up. You were dependable. Until suddenly, you weren't. When you disappear, it hits like a cold shock, something they never expected. You've heard the saying, "You don't know what you have until it's gone." Has a to self. That's exactly what happens here. But disappearing isn't just about your physical absence. It's about taking with you everything you once represented: comfort, validation, and emotional availability. It's not a small rejection. It's a deep personal blow. Because for the first time, they realize something terrifying. They don't control you anymore. See, people rarely admit this, but when they believe you'll always stick around, they start treating you like a safety net. You become an option, not a priority. So when you vanish, you yank that safety net away, and they start to panic. Suddenly, they're free-falling, wondering, "How did I let this happen?" That sting cuts even deeper if you were always emotionally open. They took your effort, your kindness, your presence as guaranteed. They may have even believed they were doing you a favor by keeping you around. But here's the truth. You were the glue holding everything together. So if you want them to truly feel the sting of rejection, don't announce it. No warnings, no ultimatums, no final message. Just go. When you vanish without explanation, it hits harder because they never saw it coming. It forces them to reflect, to replay every moment in their mind, wondering where it went wrong. But most importantly, it tells them loudly that you're done being disrespected. And when you walk away, don't turn around. Let them sit in the silence. They'll feel that loss more deeply than you can imagine. 2. The void of missing you. Once the rejection fades, something heavier takes its place. The emptiness. At first, they'll try to pretend they don't care. "Oh, if they leave, I'll move on." That's what they'll tell themselves. But when you actually disappear, that's when the reality hits. They start feeling a void, one that grows a little bigger every day. Suddenly, their routines feel empty. The laughter feels forced. The excitement they once felt from your presence is gone. And now they realize you weren't just someone in their life. You were the balance, the calm, the meaning. When people take you for granted, they assume your energy is replaceable, but they quickly learn it's not. They might try to distract themselves with new people, new hobbies, new distractions, but nothing fills that space. You brought something unique, warmth, stability, life. Without you, everything feels muted. The irony? They never valued you when they had you. They thought you'd always be around. But the second you disappear, they start craving the small things, your conversations, your laughter, the way you made them feel seen. And when they realize they can't reach you anymore, that's when the void deepens. So if you're going to disappear, do it completely. Block them. Remove every way they could casually check up on you. The harder it is to find you, the more powerful that emptiness becomes. Because nothing haunts people more than the silence of someone they once took for granted. Each time they think about you and reach out only to find nothing but silence, the emptiness inside them deepens. Let them stay in that void, because the truth is, people rarely value what's in front of them until it's gone. Let them miss your presence. Let them feel the weight of your absence. The longer they sit in that emptiness, the clearer it becomes. 3. The storm of curiosity. By now, they're deep in that emptiness you left behind, and this is where desperation starts to take over. Curiosity begins to consume them. Questions start flooding their mind. Where are they? Who are they with? Have they moved on? It's an obsession that grows stronger by the hour. See, when you vanish completely, no calls, no messages, no trace, you become a mystery. And nothing unsettles the human mind more than not knowing. In the era of social media, this stage is magnified tenfold. They'll start checking your Instagram, scrolling through your TikTok, refreshing your Facebook, hoping for any sign of life. But here's where the real power lies. You give them nothing. No stories, no posts, no updates, just silence. And that silence, it eats away at them. Humans hate uncertainty. When they can't get answers, their imagination fills in the blanks. They start picturing you with someone else, laughing, thriving, moving on. They picture you happier without them, and that thought burns. They might even reach out to mutual friends, pretending to ask casually, "So, have you heard from them lately?" But you and I both know that's pride mixed with regret. Curiosity is one of the strongest emotional drives. Once it takes hold, it doesn't let go easily. The less they know, the more their mind spirals, trying to make sense of your silence. So, if you want to keep your power, become the ghost. No breadcrumbs, no signals, no digital traces. Every time they check your profile and find nothing, that frustration grows. You hold the power now, and their curiosity becomes your greatest weapon. Don't feed it with answers. Feed it with silence. 4. The mirror of self-reflection. This is the phase they fear most because it's the moment the spotlight turns inward. After days, maybe even weeks of confusion and searching, they finally start to question themselves. Was I distant? Did I push them away? Did I mess this up? The guilt starts to creep in, and there's no escaping it. See, people hate admitting when they're wrong, but when you disappear, they no longer have you around to soothe their ego or soften their mistakes. Now, they're left alone with their thoughts. And those thoughts are merciless. They'll replay every ignored message, every moment they made you feel unseen, every time they acted like you didn't matter. And slowly, the realization hits. They had something good, and they ruined it. This stage is brutal because it's internal. They can't argue, can't justify, can't shift the blame anymore. You're not there to absorb their excuses. All they're left with is themselves. And that's where the lesson begins. With every passing day, the self-reflection deepens. The guilt grows heavier. They start wishing they could go back, undo their mistakes, take you more seriously. But it's too late. Here's your role in this stage. Do nothing. Don't reach out to explain. Don't validate. Don't try to make them see their error. They need to reach that conclusion on their own. Because real reflection doesn't happen when you guide them through it. It happens when they're forced to sit in silence and face their own failures. Let them stay there. That discomfort is the beginning of their growth and your freedom. 5. The urge to chase. And now comes the shift. After all that guilt and self-questioning, something inside them snaps. They go from reflection to pursuit. Now, they want you back. The roles have reversed. You were once the one putting in effort, initiating conversations, caring the most. But now, it's their turn. The urge to chase you becomes almost unbearable. They start to rationalize it. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe if I just say the right thing, they'll come back. So they start testing the waters. Hey, how have you been? Text. A like on your old photo. A late night message they'll blame on too many drinks. They're desperate for any sign that you might still care. But here's the thing. The power has already shifted. They're chasing a version of you that no longer exists. And that drives them mad. When they start pursuing, don't respond. The moment you do, you hand them back the control they lost. Your silence now speaks louder than any reply ever could. Let them feel the frustration of wanting something they can't have. Let them realize that their chance came and went, and you're no longer waiting for them to recognize your worth. In this stage, every unanswered message reminds them of what they lost. Every ignored attempt eats at their pride. So stay silent. Stay composed. Because nothing is more powerful than showing them you've moved on and they can't reach you anymore. Number 6. The battle between relief and regret. When you first disappear, they might feel a strange sense of relief, that sudden rush of freedom. They tell themselves, finally, I don't have to deal with them anymore. And maybe, for a short while, they even feel good about it. But here's the truth about that so-called freedom. It's an illusion. It feels liberating at first, but it's empty. They go out, surround themselves with people, scroll endlessly, laugh too loudly, and pretend it's all fine. But once the noise fades, once they're alone in their quiet apartment, that's when the regret begins to creep in. They start realizing that freedom without you is actually loneliness. That the people they thought could replace you are just surface-level distractions. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. It feels like relief, but it only makes them more desperate, more hollow, more regretful. In today's world of casual connections, people think they can replace depth with convenience. But you can't replace emotional stability with temporary attention. And when they finally realize this, it hits them like a storm. So let them feel the silence they once ignored. Let them sit in the empty space they thought would make them happier. The relief they felt was temporary, but your absence will linger far longer than they ever expected. Number 7, the desire to play the game. Once regret settles in, panic follows. They start trying to control the situation again, but this time, they're out of moves. So they do the only thing they know. They play games. They post cryptic quotes about moving on. They share selfies that try a little too hard. They suddenly become active again, hoping you'll notice. Every post, every story, it's a signal flare. An attempt to pull you back into their orbit. But here's what they don't understand. You're not playing anymore. You've outgrown manipulation. You've outgrown their drama, their emotional chess. You don't even notice the games because you're no longer on the board. Their posts, their attempts to make you jealous, their silence, none of it touches you anymore. Because you've stepped into something more powerful, peace. And that's what drives them mad. They can't stand the thought that you no longer react. They'll throw subtle digs, passive-aggressive remarks, anything to provoke emotion, but all they get is silence. The moment you stop responding, they lose their control. They realize the game only worked because you played. And now that you've stopped, they're powerless. Number 8, the crushing weight of silence. Silence, it's your greatest weapon. When you vanish, your absence speaks louder than any message you could send. The lack of your words, your voice, your presence, it echoes in their mind. They start replaying every moment they ignored you, every text they brushed off, every call they let ring. Now, they'd give anything just to hear from you again. Silence is unbearable for someone who was used to control. They expect you to break it, to reach out, to ask what's wrong. But you don't. You let them sit in it. And that's when it hurts the most. Because in today's world of constant communication, where everyone's always online, true silence is terrifying. It forces them to confront themselves and the reality that they lost someone who once brought peace. Let your silence be your message. Don't break it. Don't explain yourself. Let them feel the weight of their own choices in the quiet they created. The truth is, your silence will haunt them far longer than your words ever could. Number 9, the fear that brings them crawling back. And then, finally, comes the fear. This is the moment they never saw coming. The moment when it truly sinks in, they might have lost you for good. For so long, they were comfortable. They assumed you'd always be there, waiting, forgiving, available. But when you disappear and don't return, panic sets in. They start to imagine you with someone else, laughing, moving on, living freely. And that thought destroys them. Fear consumes them. Fear of replacement, fear of irrelevance, fear of regret. They start sending long messages, promising change, swearing they finally understand. Some will even show up in person, desperate to rewrite what's already been written. But here's what they don't know. By the time they feel that fear, it's too late. You've already grown past them. You've found your strength, your independence, your inner calm. Their fear is real, but it's not your problem anymore. Let them face the reality they created. You're no longer someone waiting to be chosen. You've become someone who chooses themselves. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You've proven something most people never do: emotional mastery. You've embraced the Stoic truth that peace comes not from control, but from letting go. And as a bonus for staying till the end, remember this: your silence, your strength, and your detachment are not punishment. They're proof that you've evolved. Because in the end, true power isn't in being needed. It's in no longer needing them. Number 10, the realization of emotional independence. This is where everything comes full circle. The moment you realize that walking away wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. When you disappear, you're not just leaving someone behind. You're walking toward your own freedom, toward clarity, toward peace. You see, in so many relationships, we lose ourselves trying to prove our worth. We try to fix, to please, to heal, until we forget who we are. But the moment you choose distance, everything changes. The fog lifts. You begin to see what you'd been blind to all along, that your happiness was never theirs to give or take. You stop craving their validation. You stop wondering what they think or how they feel, or what they want, because you finally realized your peace doesn't depend on anyone but you. And that, my friend, is true emotional independence. Here's the beautiful irony. They feel it too. They sense that you've changed, that you're stronger now, calmer, wiser, untouchable. You've outgrown them, and they can feel that distance in their bones. They're still trapped in the same patterns, but you've evolved. You've broken the cycle of needing to be chosen. You no longer seek permission to be at peace. This is where the tables turn for good. Their opinions lose power. Their silence no longer stings. Because you've learned the most powerful truth of all, that the person who can walk away with peace holds all the power. So here's your lesson. Stop giving people endless chances to take you for granted. Stop showing up for those who never meet you halfway. The moment you walk away, truly walk away, everything changes. You hold the power now. They'll feel it. They'll regret it. They'll know they lost something irreplaceable. But you'll feel something even greater. Freedom, wholeness, peace. If you're ready to reclaim your power and stop being an option, drop any of these lines in the comment below. I've outgrown being taken for granted. I choose distance over disrespect. The old me stayed. The new me walks away. Because this, right here, is your turning point. The moment you step into the most powerful version of yourself. And if this message resonated with you, consider joining the channel's memberships. It helps us keep creating deep, life-changing Stoic content like this and brings these lessons to more people around the world. But even if you simply hit subscribe, know that it means everything. You're in control now. You're not chasing peace, you are peace. See you in the next video. And until then, walk with calmness, act with wisdom, and remember, you were never waiting for someone to save you. You were waiting to become the one who saves yourself.